tiny book by Teen Genius sells for almost 1 million. Teen Genius, tiny book. Oh my god, let's see this.
This teeny tiny book, written by a teen, just sold at auction for almost $1 million. Of course, it wasn't just any teen author. It was the work of Charlotte Bronte, one of the most celebrated writers in the English language. The 1830 tome is incredibly rare.
So this manuscript was written by Charlotte Bronte when she was 14 years old, so just a teen.
Please tell us more into this, man. Please tell us you're just sending it to someone and then it just became this popular thing. She was just like writing. Wait. So wait, then were they able to read and write? Like where was I mean she had to be like, because like I think from what I've read is that in some places in history, right, the women could not read and write because they didn't go to school, because they thought that they didn't need them to go to school, right? Because like of course like they thought that time was like their place is in the kitchen and taking care of the kids. So that tiny girl, she had to be like she definitely had to be like in school or something, right?
Teenager. It's a collection of short stories that were published in like a journal, like a magazine, and it was used to play with her brothers and sisters in their imaginary world called Glasstown.
The wee manuscript consists of 4,000 words on 20 pages. There are only 4 others like it. Charlotte and her siblings, Anne, Emily, and Branwell, would use the little books as scripts, playing along to their stories with toy soldiers. The Bronte children had to keep their fantasy world a secret from their father, which explains why the book is so minute.
It was copied so tiny simply because they had a very strict father, almost tyrannical, who did not want them to play, and it was copied in order to be hidden, probably from authority and from their father.
Isn't it weird how someone could be? Isn't that just like? Isn't it weird that that's a thing to like want to be mad at your children of? Like they're kids, right? So they play, right? And you're mad at them for writing on a book that is small. Like they're children. Like the father should be smart enough to know that of course they're gonna play around. Like they're kids. Like it's like, come on.
Journal of a Frenchman. Paris, April 17th. At length I am there, in the heart of true happiness, grandeur and magnificence.
The Brontes were a talented family. Anne Bronte wrote 2 novels before dying at age 29. Branwell was a poet and painter. His work included this portrait of his sisters. Emily penned that English lit staple, Wuthering Heights. Tom Hardy and Andrew Lincoln appeared in this 2009 adaptation.
I have so far been forbearing with you, sir. Your presence is a moral poison that would contaminate the most virtuous.
And Charlotte Bronte is best known for her 1847 romantic novel, Jane Eyre. The book is ubiquitous on...
No way. So these guys were that popular that they're like close to... What the... Okay, now I'm like really interested. These people are really... Jane Eyre, that's a very popular book.
High school and college reading lists. It's also been adapted for the movies and TV several times, including in 2011 with Michael Fassbender and Mia Wasikowska.
I have known you, Mr. Rochester, and it strikes me with anguish to be torn from you.
But before there was Jane Eyre, there were Charlotte's little pocket fantasies.
And this is just the beginning of her writing. She's already very assured and knows exactly what she wants to write about. And so it's very important that...
That means they were like the upper echelon people. Like they were rich people. Like, I mean, if it's like, I'm guessing if it's like a lower class person, impossible. Like, because those guys, they were obviously probably not seen as should not be able to read and write and all that, you know.
We know these manuscripts.
Though the manuscript was bought and sold, it is in some senses priceless.
We estimated this 600 to 800,000 euros, which is a strong estimate, but at the same time is not, because it's very difficult to set a price on such a unique manuscript.
So like if you buy it, then what, you know? Then what? It's like all these people buying like what's it called? What can I think of right now? When someone buys like something from the past. I mean, that is something from the past, yes. But when someone buys like something from the past from like someone that like died or something, it's like, then what? Like, then what are you gonna do with it? Frame it so people are gonna come to your house and see it when people don't even know about the popular person? Like, it's like, come on, man. You buy it, then what? Then you'll be happy. Yeah.
Especially when it's English literature and literature by a woman.
Okay.
The volume was purchased by the Bronte Society, and it will reside in the Bronte Parsonage Museum. The museum is dedicated to the family, a tourist attraction in the West Yorkshire town of Haworth. And
Haworth? What the?
now the only place to see these small works by a young genius.
1830.
This is
Damn. 1830. Published August 19, 1830. What? What does 1830 look like? Not good for black people though, for sure. Not good for black people. But 1830. Damn. It's fascinating, like, just to think of like old, like, times when like, thinking of times where like 100 years from now, like, what was 100 years from now like?
This is InsideEdition.com.
That was pretty interesting.